And I will go into a little bit detail about that. But let me tell you what I have found. I have found being a leader, encouraging and enlightening my teachers works much better than controlling them. It really does. Now, in this book, they talk about school leaders and how understanding teaching as a combination of skill and will and disposition, and how to support teachers in ongoing development creates an excellent learning environment. Now, when teachers and principals lead, when teachers and principals lead, principals, school directors, administrators, when they lead small teams, the educators can daily, weekly collaborate. They can speak about the problems they're having and things that are going on. And that relationship is very important if you want to achieve instructional excellence. So I'd like to begin today with letting you know that if you want your school to achieve instructional excellence, you need to create a welcoming environment for all. Now, where does that start? Well, creating a welcoming environment begins with the leader. There is a difference between a boss and a leader. A leader is one who encourages, one who trains, one who looks for the things you are doing right. A boss is someone who dominates, controls, looks for things you're doing wrong. Now, I'm not sure about you, but I haven't been teaching very long. I've just about reached my 20th year of teaching. I've been teaching in Asia for about 13 years and in the US before that. And I tell you what, I work much better with a director or a principal who, if I send an email and I say, hello, Dr. So-and-so, this organization in India approached me and they would like for me to do a 1-hour leadership workshop on Saturday evening. I want a leader who will say, great, this is wonderful. What can I do to help? I don't want a boss who is going to say, well, you can't do it because of this, and this. No, I want a leader. And instructional leadership for excellence begins with leading a team, people. And then secondly, it's achieving instructional excellence. And that's planning, dealing with the curriculum and things like that. So very, very quickly, we're going to look at the first part, leading a team, and how a leader can start the process of creating positive and excellent instructional leadership. So I love this illustration. Are you a leader or a boss? I have not spent enough time in India to firsthand know the education system, but I have spent a lot of time in Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Nepal, Mexico, Philippines. Wow. So all Southeast Asian countries, and China, and some countries in North America and South America and in Europe. And I see that a leader is the one who has these weekly meetings with their teachers, and they say, hey, everyone, you're doing a great job. The students are happy, you're happy. How can I help things be better? That is a leader. A leader walks around and he asks, how can I help? A boss walks around and says, you're doing this wrong. You're doing this wrong. And okay, this might sound funny, right? but I judge. Okay, I have a simple I have a simple system, right? Uh, if I have to, if my director wants to see me, well, or my dean in my faculty, right? If my dean says, "Hey, David, do you have a few minutes to come to my office?" Okay. Now imagine if your director or your principal or your dean asked you, "Hey, can you come to my office?" And if your hands start to sweat, they are a boss. If you're anxious and scared, they are a boss. When my director calls, says, "Hey, David, can you come to my office?" I'm like, "Oh, sure, yeah." I'm happy. I'm happy to see my director. I really am. I can tell you the truth. When I send an email to my director, I there's always congratulations, wonderful. Oh, I'm sorry, this is a problem. I have some time tomorrow afternoon so we can talk about it. It's proactive, just wonderful. That is a leader. So I love to go to my university. I love to work. I love to teach. If I worked for a boss, oh my goodness, I would hate to be there. Oh, so now leading leading a team, leading a team is takes a lot of work, right? And the point is you must connect. You must connect with your team to set goals and to be able to develop your team. See, it's the leader who must plan, communicate, and execute. It is the leader. It is the leader's responsibility to lead. I remember when I first began teaching many years ago, I had a principal, and this principal, one time, one of the custodians was feeling ill. He was feeling ill, and he was sick. And one of the toilets, sorry, was blocked up in one of the bathrooms. This principal grabbed a plunger and went and took care of that toilet himself. He rolled up his sleeves and he took care of the toilet. And he didn't think anything of it. It was just something that had to be done. He led by example. And that man was loved by everyone because he was honest. And establishing leadership, it's making sure you have the right people on your team. Now look, not everyone has to agree. We know that not everyone is going to agree on everything, but you need people on your team who have a positive vision, people who have similar goals, and they need to know what their roles are. And that's the job of the leader, the right people. Now, launching and leading includes planning, communicating, executing. You see, that's the job of a leader. A boss says, "Here, you do this. If it's good, I take credit. I'm the boss. I told you to do it. I'm the boss." A leader says, "If it's good, we did it. If it's bad, I did it." Now, again, a leader says, "If it's good, we did it. If it's bad, I did it." A boss, if it's good, I did it. A boss, if it's bad, you did it. Now that's come on. Why would anyone want to work in those conditions? How can you achieve excellence when people just really don't like you because you are a jerk? You know, you want people to respect you because of who you are and what you do. You don't want people to be afraid of you. Come on. How can you achieve any sort of excellence when people are afraid? No, because when people are afraid, they're not going to do the best job. They're not going to be honest. All right. So now building team spirit and helping your team to collaborate to achieve common goals. That's how you build instructional excellence. Okay. Now I know I'm putting a lot of energy into communicating this point because leadership and team building is the most important aspect of this whole presentation. Um, Building team cohesion. Cohesion just means sticking together. You know, look, what time is it here? It is 18:46. So it's almost 7 p.m. on a Saturday. Look, I don't have to be here. I choose to be here because this topic is important. And this topic should be important to everyone. And you are here because this topic is important to you. So now, again, a leader. We're still talking about a leader. A leader, he will support and develop each educator. Now, I use the word educator here because sometimes the word teacher does not really apply. I like the word educator. It has a different connotation to it. So a, a true leader will provide support and he will help each educator develop. Now, like I said earlier, I spend a lot of time with my friends from the Philippines. And during this COVID crisis, oh my goodness, my friends in the Philippines who teach secondary school, they have had to buy paper, bond paper, ream paper, whatever you call it, copy paper. They have had to buy paper and ink for their own printers and print thousands of pages for workbooks without any support from their education administration. No support. So that's people who care. And they care because their leader encourages them. Their leader. I'm very close with the head of that particular education area, and everyone loves the head of the education area. He's just a wonderful man. He's a loving, caring man. And he even gave a lot of money out of his pocket to support his teachers. And that's what you do. Support is, no, okay, support might be a pat on the back, so to speak. Support might be, hey, how is your day going? I heard about what you did. I want to tell you, I'm proud of you. I appreciate what you did. Can you imagine if your director or your principal would meet you in the hallway and say, "Oh, I heard your students talking about how the way you taught this subject. That's interesting. Would you mind if I can sit in your class for a few minutes and observe that technique? And or maybe could we invite some more teachers just to see you?" It's amazing. Wow. I mean, think about that. Noticing something good that you're doing and letting other people know that you are good at this thing and they should copy you. What flattery, what honor. Wow. A boss, hey, I heard what you did. Let me see what you did so I can copy and I can train the teachers and I can take credit for it. Yeah, we know that. We know those type of people. Jeez. So, okay. Now, supporting and supporting and developing has to come from planning, communicating, and executing. Look, everything, planning, coaching, communicating, It's the same foundation. All right. Now, here's something that I tell I tell everyone, especially leaders. Look, take care of yourself. Train yourself. Learn. Go to seminars, conferences, whatever you can do. Take 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 classes to improve yourself. Yes, you have time. Yes, you have time. Don't tell me, oh, I'm too busy, blah, blah, blah. You're lying. You have time. You have time to watch YouTube videos. You have time to improve yourself. So, uh, I tell leaders, improve your leadership and professional skills. Learn, learn from other people. Uh, watch YouTube videos of presenters. Have some sort of communication with other school leaders in other cultures, other communities, and other countries. Because sometimes when we only know our way, when we only know what we're doing in our culture, in our way, we think that is the best way. But the truth is, I am exposed to many different cultures, and I take a little piece from that culture and a little piece from that culture, and I I adopt into my techniques, and I adapt to the situation. So look, learn, learn from different leadership styles, learn from different school systems. Not everyone has to be Finland or Switzerland or Germany, okay? But learn the best ways to encourage and lead your people. That's what I'm saying, okay? Whatever you have to do, learn. So, okay, now managing yourself, it does take, again, it does take planning and communicating and executing and improving. Now, clarifying your role as your team and school changes. Um, I have seen um, I have seen schools start with 10 or 12 students in an English program. Okay. I develop English programs and mini English programs and things like that. So I've seen students, 12 students or 20 students or 30 students for the first semester. And you think, oh, wow, this is so much work. You know what? No, it's not. Because the second year, more students enroll. Third year, fourth year, fifth year, sixth year. And if you have a good program that develops students, that creates critical thinking, um, then you might have 20 students that first semester, but after that second or third year, you are into the hundreds, the maximum amount your school can handle. And you have to change the way you lead, and you have to continually clarify your role as your team and school changes, and you have to improve your actions and your competencies and your skills. Because if you think you know what you are doing now, if you think you are fine the way you are, you're not. Look, I'm I don't want to show you my office because I'm a bit embarrassed. I have books stacked up and papers and articles, but look, I will have one book where I'm learning about social capital, and at the same time I'm reading about research design. Um, I I am I am using the first time in one of my researches. I'm using grounded theory. I just recently completed an article on I wrote an autoethnography. These are all new methods of research that I was not familiar with, but I want to learn and I'm increasing my skills. Now, the next level of leadership is very important. The next level of leadership simply means when you grow your organization and the people become very comfortable in their roles, then you can move to be a mentor, even above being a leader. And stay healthy. Stay healthy. Hey, no junk food. If you and now forgive me, but I would never say this to a woman. But I would say this to a man. Hey, if you're fat, lose weight. But women, we know women are never fat. So hey, only men are fat. Yes. Okay. So move on. Okay. Now you see, now again, lead others openly. Openly. I mentioned that earlier. Lead others openly and rapidly to implement these elements of instructional excellence. Now, lead others openly. See, um, in some societies, bosses, they really get a thrill if they can make you look stupid in front of your coworkers. You know, they speak down to you in front of your coworkers because they feel powerful. No, that's not right. See, leading others openly. Hey, Miss So and so, Mr. So and so, great job. Hey, everyone, you should have seen this. Lead others openly, encourage, motivate. People respond. People respond with a hey, you're doing a good job more than oh, you did this wrong again. You're doing this wrong, this wrong, this wrong. You know, when I do, even when I grade student work. Now, I teach academic reading and academic writing for the social sciences. I, I thankfully I no longer have to teach high school. You know, I did that for many years. That's why I have gray hair teaching high school. You know, yep, gray hair teaching high school. But now I teach master's level and doctorate level students, uh, but I do the same thing: 80% positive, 20% negative. When I have to grade student work or give feedback on thesis writing or article writing, I always go 80% positive. And hey, there's a couple of things I found that we need to work on, but it's no problem. It makes people feel better about themselves if we can be as positive as possible, because we know. um, I'm not sure the grading system in your school, but the grading system in Thailand are letter grades. 4 points for an A, 3 for a B, 2 for a C, and so on. And when a student makes AAAB, AAAA, again, AAAB, AAAA, when they go home, their parents say, "Why did you make that B?" My goodness, they made 7 A's, 7 A's. The parents never said, "I'm proud of you." See, that's a boss mentality, even in the home. And the student, their spirit is broken. Come on. They made 7 A's. If that would be my kid, oh, we would, they would come home with that grade report with 7 A's and 1 B. Oh, we would be high-fiving and dancing and buying ice cream. And what about the B? Yeah, okay. Can you do better? Yeah, okay. We don't need to talk about it. Move on. I mean, that's it. Celebrate accomplishments, because teachers and students will have enough failures in their lives to where they don't need you as the principal or as the director rubbing the salt in the wound. They need you to lift them up, and they need you to do it politely and lovingly and openly. So now you see, a boss creates fear. A leader, confidence. A boss fixes blame. It's your fault. A leader corrects mistakes. A boss knows all. Don't do anything until you ask me. A leader asks questions. Hey, David, what do you think? Wow, that is great advice. Hey, can we use that? A boss makes work drudgery. Oh, is it 5 o'clock yet? Oh, I want to go home. A leader makes work interesting. Oh, wow, that was a great project. When can we do another one? A boss is interested in themselves. I'm the boss. I drive a new Mercedes. You take the bus. Yes, I don't care. A leader is interested in the group. Hey guys, why don't you come to my office? Let me order some drinks from the local coffee shop. Yeah, I'll pay for it. Do you want cake or pie? That's a boss. See, look, that's a boss. Now, I can see some of you raise your hand if you want to work for a boss. No? Raise your hand if you want to work for a leader. A leader, yes? Now, one time I did this. one time, one time I did this and I said, hey, if you work for if you work for a boss, raise your hand. Oh my goodness, I did not realize that the principal of that school was on the Zoom call with the teachers. And after I have been ragging on bosses, blah, blah, blah. And my goodness, everyone raised their hand and they were like, he's a boss. He's a boss. And I'm like, and then this person logged off. He signed off, and someone sent a chat message to me and said, he's the principal of our school. I said, well, he shouldn't be a jerk. That's his fault. Yeah. So, okay, let's go. Next, achieving instructional excellence. Now, spent a little bit of time talking about leadership. Okay, now to achieve instructional excellence, you need good, wholesome leadership, and then you need curriculum. You mix those two together, hey, there you go, the best school. Now, to achieve instructional excellence, um, you have to think of the students as being your family, and you have to think of the teachers or the other teachers as being family, because instructional excellence is the heart of a great school. It is. People don't say that is a good school because the teachers are beautiful. Okay, that is not important. That is a good school because of the scores it reports to the Ministry of Education. Look, that's all surface stuff. Instructional excellence is when people are happy to be there, the students are learning, the students who finish at that school can go on to greater things. But all this requires planning ahead, delivering powerful instruction, improving the process, and you have to make sure that every teacher and every student is motivated and supported. Motivated and supported. Now, you see, you have to plan ahead. I'm sorry. You have to plan the curriculum, the lessons, and how to properly assess. Um, I have a couple of studies here that shows most school systems in Asia use multiple choice assessments. A, B, C, D, right? And multiple choice assessments have been have been found to be just low quality assessments, right? But they're easy, and that's why we do it. We use multiple choice exams because they're quick and easy. They're easy to grade, but they're really not the best indicators. Um, for I use multiple choice. Even fill in the blank is such a waste of time. But I use multiple choice, essay answers, something to where the students can create and think. Now, um, planning means just raising the quality and the consistency of the school by planning ahead. Now, look at the first point. Articulate the vision. Articulate the vision for teachers, students, and families. It is the leader's job to clearly communicate the vision for the school to the teachers, the students, and the families. If everyone comes together and has the same understanding, the school will be a much better place to work and to learn. So, choosing a high standards curricula. Now, um, I'm not sure what subject everyone teaches, but I teach language. I teach English, I teach writing, things such as that. And I found that most curricula comes from the West, mostly the UK, the Cambridge stuff, the Oxford stuff, um, and sometimes that's not the best. That's not the best for your particular micro or macro cultural setting. Um, Developing engaging lesson plans. Hey, don't be afraid to do things in the class to get the students up and motivated. Even when I teach high school or university, there's not much difference in the way that I do things. I still have people do, move, action, walk, create, whiteboard. Hey, if it calls for it, if we're working on pronunciation of English, hey, there's even poems and songs. So don't worry about it. Make things exciting. uh, and systematize school-wide procedures and routines. The last point, systematize school procedures and routines. Yeah, create systems, make things comfortable for teachers and students to where everyone understands what is going on. Um, Oftentimes, I go to schools and I ask 5 people, "Hey, what about this? What about the library? What about this, and this?" I get 5 different answers. No one knows what's going on. That's because of bad leadership. So, okay, uh, assessments. Assessments are very important. Um, I'm not sure how many students are in your classes, but here in Thailand, in the Thai program, I am not even joking. Oh my goodness. 40, 50, 60 high school students in one room, no air condition, and they still use the blackboard. Some classes have the whiteboard, but they're still they have the old wooden desks, no air conditioning, the fans, four, five, 6 fans, only half work, and it's 36 degrees Celsius, 38 degrees Celsius, and you have 60 students in a room designed for 35, you know? So you have to do the best you can as a teacher. And sometimes you have to do assessments on the fly. What I mean by assessments on the fly is when I have 300 students and I have to do speaking assessments, I say, "Hey, buddy, Come here. What is what is your name? What is your student number? I'm going to lunch. Talk to me while we're walking. Sorry, you have to do what you have to do. I was able to do, you know, hey, I was able to do sometimes 10, 15, 20 assessments per day outside of my classroom. But you have to do what you have to do because sometimes subjects you can't do written assessments. They have to be speaking or whatever. Yeah. So now uh, this is so important. This is so important. Establish strong relationships with teachers, students, and families. Come on, you have to establish strong relationships. If okay, we have to be professional. I understand that. But my goodness, I know the names plural, of every housekeeper, every custodian, every driver, every office staff, every security person, more than I know the names of my fellow colleagues. I know Professor this, Doctor this. Yeah, but I know the names of every security guard and housekeeper and everything, and I try to create an atmosphere that brings people together and makes people feel comfortable. But I'm not a leader. I'm just a staff member at my university. But I still create, I'm sorry, I still treat people with respect, regardless of their social status. And as a leader, wow, you have to create relationships. You really do. Of course, you have to be professional, but you should know, hey, this teacher had a child. Send her flowers, send her a card. These people got married. This. Know things about people. I'm not saying you have to know all of their personal details, okay? But you need to know something about them. You need to know something about your students. Okay, you have 1,000 students. You can't know every student, right? But you can walk the halls of your school every day for a few minutes and smile at people. Come on. The families in the mornings, you can walk out to the gate and you can greet the families. You can do that. That is creating relationships and creating rapport. Connecting with teachers and students and families to cultivate a school culture of learning, to create instructional excellence. You're building positive, genuine, real relationships. That is so important. And as teachers, uh, you create relationships with your fellow teachers. Now, look, as teachers, we should know the names of most of our students. I have I have a rule um, that I have to know the names of at least 50% of my students within the first 2 weeks. I mean, unless all I have, if I have 20 students in a class, I'm going to know all their names the first week. They might have to remind me the second or third week, but I'm going to know pretty much most of their names. And you have to you have to communicate student learning regularly. The students students believe when I am in your class, I am your student. When I am not in your class, don't talk to me. You know how that is, But the way I think about it is I don't care if you're in my class or not. You're still my student, and I'm still going to say hello to you when I see you at the mall. You know, you are a good teacher when your students walk towards you in the mall to say hello. You know you're a bad teacher when they run away. So, yeah. And see, creating instructional excellence is creating relationships with your fellow teachers and with your students. Now, leading with a purpose and leading with compassion, setting and reinforcing norms for routines and behaviors. Look, I do things like this. Honestly, I do things like this quite often, 3 times, 4 times per week or so now. And my goodness, I hear the facilitator. I say, "Oh, Mr. David, one moment. Yeah, go ahead. Turn on your cameras." To the students. Come on, look, people. If your camera is on and you are an adult, thank you. If your camera is off, I'm thinking your house is dirty and you are ashamed, or you didn't wash your hair today and your hair looks like, I don't know, something happened, right? So if your camera is on or your camera is off, come on, that's your business. You see, you have to have compassion. Now, leading schools and leading classrooms, it doesn't matter if you are in person or online. You must lead with a firm yet warm presence. Firm yet warm presence. What I mean is, look, you can you can help correct your students, but you can still be nice about it. As look, everyone here has been teaching for quite a while. You know how to be nice, and you can influence your students and your teachers if you are a leader with a strong posture and a voice that expresses, "Hey, I know what I'm doing. Let me help you." But then the other side is, "Hey, are you okay? How can I help you?" See, it's the same teacher, the same posture, the same voice, and you're just showing eagerness for both situations. Now, I don't know if you see in the middle of the screen, but I have circulate throughout the school or classroom. If you are a teacher and if you sit behind your desk, uh, God, don't you just hate those teachers that sit behind the desk and they speak on the microphone? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, shoot me. Oh, geez. No, I like the teachers who, okay, if you need a microphone, get a wireless microphone. Walk around that classroom. Walk around that classroom. If there's not much room to squeeze in between the desks, set up the desks to where you can walk. Proximity to the students create relationships. If you are a school leader or a principal, circulate around the school, walk around the school. Proximity creates relationships. Walk by Mr.'s class and walk by Mrs. class and say, "Oh, sorry. Hey, is there anything I can do to help you?" "Oh, no, 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 no. I'm okay." Teachers gossip. We know that. We know teachers gossip. We know teachers are the gossiping gods of the world. We know that. Would you rather have a teacher gossip that, "Hey, Mr. So and so came by my class and asked me if there's anything he can do to help me? That was so sweet." Or would you like the teachers to say, "I haven't seen the director in a month. Is he still alive?" you know so establish a culture of learning in your school and in your classroom. This is how you create instructional excellence. It's about relationships, it's about leadership. And the you have you have to create an incentive system to highlight the best learning behaviors. That's your job. And execute rigorous lessons aligned with the curriculum, but things that are engaging and high growth learning, critical thinking. Matter of fact, tomorrow I'm doing a presentation. Oh, I forgot what organization. Sorry. But I'm doing a presentation about using project-based instruction to create higher order thinking. Yeah, project-based instruction to create higher order thinking. So look, can I send this PowerPoint to you guys after I finish? That way you don't have to really write notes or take photos, and you can share the PDF or whatever. Is that possible?
It would be really great, sir. We can
Yeah,
share.
sure, yeah. I'm sorry I didn't send it earlier. I kind of forgot. I was, I don't know, sorry. But look, engage students in the learning process helps the students to become semi-autonomous, and they depend less on the teacher. Creating instructional excellence is giving the students ownership. So I will send this to you in just a few minutes. So look, assess students' learning, achievement, and growth frequently, daily, weekly. I am continually speaking with my students, continually checking, assessing, discussing. It never stops. It's better for me to catch a problem that I know will be a small problem now that I know has the potential to become a big problem later. So look, monitor student learning. We know that this is not anything special. We know that. Now, change instruction when learning slows, and to help students advance faster based on monitoring. If you want to achieve instructional excellence, just keep changing the way you teach to fit the situation. Do not expect the students to fit you. You need to fit them. You need to fit their learning styles. Okay. Now this one here is, again, I'm going to reiterate. Engage teachers, students, and families in the students' growth by sharing progress and inviting student-driven improvements. Look, it's simple. How can I help? What can I do to help? That's all you have to do. If you see something that can be done better, do it. If you ask your students, how can I help? If they tell you, change it, fix it. If you ask your teachers as a leader, what can I do to help? Do it, change it, fix it, make things better. So, yeah. Okay. Continually improve all of the elements we looked at earlier, and I will send this PowerPoint. But just continuously improve, continuously. Do not stop. Just continuously improve everything. If there's something needs to be changed, do it. Don't worry about it. So, and take this, dream big, set goals, take action. Dream big, set goals, take action. Get everyone involved with things that you can really do to achieve instructional excellence. Now, okay, that's it. I'm finished. Questions?
Thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful experience sharing. And it was really seems like we are actually inside the classrooms, and you have given lot many live examples. And we, as educators, I'm sure we all have experienced about boss and about leaders in our life. So Ex- Exceptionally, transformed by you, sir. We really enjoyed your session. It was not at all a one-way communication, because we really realized that what kind of leader we are, and what kind of changes should be done in our own personality as a leader. Now it's the time to have some questions from Sir. If any participants would like to speak, or they wanted to ask any question, please feel free. Sir is very kind, and he is always available for us to help and support.
Oh, sorry. I sent the PowerPoint in the chat box.
No problem, sir. You can mail me. I'll just download, and I'll forward to the concerned persons for sure.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you so much. We have Dr. Kalpana Dikshit, ma'am. She is also the trainer. Ma'am, thank you so much for joining this wonderful session. And as I came to know that, as a managing director, I strongly believe that I should know each and everybody's profile. So I have gone through your profile as well, and it sounds very interesting. I have seen that you have also done this course earlier. So would you like to add on something? Would you like to share your experience about today's session? Will definitely gonna help us a lot in future.
Yeah. Thank you, David sir. I am really happy to hear all the experience of leadership and all the direction of instructional leadership. That's very nice, and I really enjoyed this session a lot. I have already done a course on school leadership, but that is basically very different from that. And your session was very live, amazing, and interesting. I really feel happy. And on the behalf of all the participants, I would like to express my gratitude and a warm thanks to you, sir. And we again want to meet and learn something very good from you, because this is a very impressive, and you are now become a role model of all the instructional leaders. I really feel happy. Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you very much. And I really give a big applause to you.
Thank you
That is so sweet. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you
I
so
was so interested to hear you. I was waiting since 15 minutes, 20 minutes where you come and deliver a lecture. I was really happy. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dikshit, to appreciate the effort of Mr. David. He has done, a wonderful presentation. We all must say thanks to him. Now, is there anybody else who would like to know more about instructional and leadership with excellence? How beautifully sir has explained, that we need to be with our team all the times. And sir, personally, I was visualizing my own leadership in my own institute. And though we have few schools, we have few other institutes, I have a good team with me, so I learned a lot. And it was such a wonderful experience to have you here with us. So if you're not having any question right now, you can also write it us, and we'll definitely gonna forward your queries to Mr. David. And believe me, he is an exceptional leader in the field of education, and he is always with us to help and support to become a better, and finally the best instructional leader in a life. So as sir said, never stop learning. So we have few more sessions with us, and we have few more leaders with us to guide and support as a master training course. And so stay in touch with us to learn and share more and more. We have Mrs. Kirti Lata ma'am. Ma'am, thank you so much for joining us from Mauritius. And I would really be honored if you share a few lines about today's session. Will help us as a feedback. Ma'am, your mic is Mute.
Ma'am, please unmute your mic.